Looks like we have some information as to why Candace Owens got dismissed from the Daily Wire. Well, so much as she was dismissed, she was axed, but is it over the Israel comments that she was making, criticizing a foreign government that is so near and dear to the Daily Wire's ownership and managerial class's heart? Well, apparently, the official statement is no, but her statements were problematic. Oh, interesting, right? Ben Shapiro denied that Candace Owens parted ways with the right-leaning news and commentary site, The Daily Wire, because of disagreements over Israel, though he hinted that her comments veered outside the company's Overton Window. Yeah, we've seen the company's Overton Window get very much exposed in the past week or so. Couple of weeks, I guess, at this point in time, with the whole "actually Christ is King" is very much an anti-Semitic slur. Jesus. Anyways, Shapiro, who co-founded the Daily Wire alongside Jeremy Boring, cited a lot of other factors at play. Gang, it's a lot of other factors at play, okay? It's not just the things that she was saying about our greatest ally, okay? She was also very problematic in a bunch of different sense. It just all tends to circle back around to Israel. Nothing to see here, moving right along. My wife's a doctor. That led to the departure of the conservative commentator last week. Before her departure, Owens had been a vocal critic of Israel. It's so funny. It's so funny how you have these mass media outlets that just tiptoe around this, because I'm glad that Candace Owens was speaking out against this. It just exposes the hypocrisy of the media. But because she's coming from this with a very grounded perspective, I was going to say base, but that has different connotations. But no, a very grounded perspective that, yeah, she doesn't want to see kids get caught up in this nonsense. Okay, she's questioning some of the tactics, like, okay, cool. If you're worried about people using underground tunnels, why are you leveling apartment buildings? Okay, why is your first response something along the lines of cutting off humanitarian aid from the outside world? Why are you doing that stuff? And then to see the Daily Wire types immediately hop to the defense of a foreign country A by simply labeling her and painting her with the scarlet A. Well, you know what time it is. She has since resurfaced on Locals, a subscription-based, it's basically, well, it's a Patreon alternative. Much better one, by the way. She's free to do whatever she wants to do, to be wherever she wants to be, Shapiro told podcaster Dave Rubin, who started Locals and used to be a big advocate for Candace, but I think you can tell by the last name, and also showed a clip the last time we talked about this, as to which side of the aisle Dave Rubin is coming down on. Shapiro said that while Locals is a platform which should have a very broad range of speech that it allows, here comes the censorship, but it's fine because it's bolster our greatest ally. Daily Wire is a publisher that would have no obligation to pay somebody whose views are not what they would consider to be inside the Overton Window. So, Ben, is it about her comments about Israel, or is it about her comments about Israel? Like, let's call this exactly what it is. The Overton Window, which was named by the late political scientist Joseph Overton, is considered a full spectrum of political viewpoints that are deemed acceptable to mainstream society. Yeah, exactly. The Daily Wire would not have a host, they would not pay a host who was staunchly pro-abortion. There you go, you can connect the dots right there. They would have no obligation to buy a host who is staunchly pro-abortion. Shapiro denied the Daily Wire has a free speech problem. Well, I find that hard to reconcile. You push out the one person who doesn't 100% ideologically align with you. Meanwhile, other people who have had very contentious positions on other topics before managed to fall directly in line. Shout out Dr. Peterson over the past few years. But anyways, addressing criticism that his site got rid of Owens for a criticism of Israel, while at the same time being critical of cancel culture. No, we don't have a free speech problem. Take a look at what's happening over there with Steven Crowder. Ooh, follow the shiny keys. No, we don't have a problem with that, okay? And we don't need to deal with that because, like it says here, this is our final words. This is our final words from the Daily Wire. We're just going to go ahead and let our hatchet men do our jobs for them. The unraveling of Candace Owens. Owens is no longer an inspiration, but a warning. When she thinks for herself, she becomes a problem. Now, if you've been following Candace Owens all the way back to when she used to be referred to as Red Pill Black, you would have probably noticed a similar type of hit piece come out about her. And while I haven't followed her career that closely, I've been aware of her for, the better part of a decade that she's been around. She's done some good stuff. She's done some inflammatory stuff. I think that her presence is an overall boon for the conversation. I'm not somebody who's going to, sign up to whatever she does next, but I'm really glad that she's out there. But this also speaks to the fact that a big conservative, the conservative punditry class, is very concerned. Now, specific segments of that class are very concerned that they're losing control of the narrative. Hence why you're getting hit pieces like this. Candace Owens broke out as a right-wing media star around the time when I moved to Berlin in 2016. Oh, okay. Orta Arfa. Oh, interesting. For writing for the Jewish Journal, moving to Berlin. Oh, okay, cool. Something, never forget. Anyways, I saw her a role model and kindred soul. As a black woman, she encouraged her own community to question their historic loyalty to the Democratic Party in America. How are you this disassociated? How can you not look into the mirror on this one? We can replace a couple of those words, okay? She encouraged her own community to question their historic loyalty to foreign country A in America, calling for something APAC, something FARA. The exit of blacks from the party that she argued only exploits or enriches blacks. Replace blacks with another group, suffering to allure votes, as she was beautiful, articulate, brave, and charismatic. Well, she's still doing all of that same stuff, but around the same time, I became a media curiosity in Germany as a rare Jewish voice telling Germans what they should be doing. Is that really rare? Oh, that welcoming Muslim migrants from the country steeped in anti-Semitism, misogyny, and fascism wasn't a correlation to their past, but rather a deranged continuation of it, right? You move to a country that you intrinsically hate because you still see them for their worst aspects some 70 years prior. Okay, cool. The rest of this just ends up reading like what? A promotion of her terrible show, I would imagine. Fantastic. I wrote on Amazon, but Candace Owens, collaborated with Kanye West, and that's a really bad person. But what exactly has Candace said that has elicited such ire? Because while we're never going to get a definitive answer from the Daily Wire as to why she was sunsetted from the platform, we could take a look at what she said in front of the camera and try to deduce this answer for ourselves. Recently took aim at political Jews for fueling anti-Semitism while speculating that secret Jewish gangs are behind horrific acts against Hollywood figures. I mean, a Weinstein? Epstein? Like, come on, man. Owens also said that a ring of Jews in Hollywood was involved in something quite sinister, paging Dan Schneider. Look at the collaborators of who have been facilitating those Diddy parties that are now finally getting exposed. Ding, 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 ding. She also favorited an ex-post that involved an ancient libel that invoked the ancient libel accusing Jews. Oh, okay, or just one. Rabbi Shmuley, who took all of those attacks very seriously, very seriously. Need to get her off the platform. This is very, very harmful to what we're doing. She's the arch anti-Semite, so you can go ahead and throw out those defamatory accusations because she liked a tweet, and then after she gets fired, you go out there and put on one of the most ridiculous and ludicrous costumes to mock something that you took a lot of offense to. Nobody takes you seriously. Nobody should take this stuff seriously. But like how Candace Owens got publicly defamed for her coming out and espousing more conservative views and what she believes that the black community is suffering under the Democratic thumb, she's waking a bunch of other people up to the horrors of another group are doing out there. And we're not talking about the Hodge Twins. We're talking about the Hodge Twins having their own awakening, especially seeing what's happening to Candace Owens, inviting the likes of Jake Shields on their podcast to really have a conversation, to simply opening up their minds to dissenting viewpoints. Imagine that. Look at what can happen. Look at what can happen when conversations are simply had. Maybe one side is not as infallible as a bunch of the media apparati would like for you to believe. Maybe there are some bad faith actors involved in some governments. We're not talking about people here. Okay, we're not talking about an entire category of people, like when you'd say, oh, look at what those criminal black people are up to. We're not talking about black people in general. Okay, when you're talking about ringleaders in Hollywood, okay, we're not talking about Jews in general. We're talking about ringleaders in Hollywood that happen to be Jews. But when you're trying to rage bait, when you're trying to drive traction to your article, you need to go ahead and snip out a bit of context. But for the people that are willing to do the work, and the people that are willing to do a little bit of research for themselves, you will be shocked to find out exactly what's going on, or to at least spark your own curiosity in order to elicit just a little bit of frontal cortex stimulation. That's always what I ask for with my videos, and I truly do hope that that provides that service to you. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.